Welcome. Hi, my name is Michael Gannotti, and I'm joined today by
Sam Gannotti.
And we are here in the Philadelphia MTC recording a new video series that we're calling 10 Zen as a part of the Windows 10 kickoff. This series comes about actually from an interaction I had on social media the other day where an end user who'd been playing around with the beta was complaining about features that were no longer a part of Windows that actually were. And so we thought that what we might want to do is to kind of cover in our 10 Zen series, kind of put you in Zen or at ease, at rest, all the little tips and tricks, ways to configure Windows 10 to make it work the way you want, to show you the ins and outs of it so you're comfortable and able to do what you need to do as an end user, as a power user. In today's video, we're going to kind of have an overview of two basic features that I'm very excited about: the Start menu and also the Action Center, and then a third little piece that we'll save as a surprise when we get there. Then we'll talk about some of our upcoming videos. But one of the things I just wanted to quickly highlight before we ever start with showing some of the ins and outs around 10s that people should be excited about is when we talk about Windows and Windows 10, something that's a little different from the past is in years past, Windows was very different in different devices, whether you're on a phone, on a computer, a tablet, and we've changed that.
Now it's on everything, or will be on everything.
It'll be on everything, right? One version of Windows. And what does that mean? What do you think that means, Sam?
Basically, the same kernel or the same operating system that's at
That's
its
good.
core.
But what does it mean from your application standpoint?
Oh, like apps?
Apps. Because people
So
care
we're
about apps.
Talk about apps on the phone. Maybe
Yeah.
like this phone.
Yeah.
That phone.
When we talk about apps on the phone, what does
Yeah.
that mean?
Well,
Or on any device?
I don't know. Your Instagram, your Facebook, your anything you could think. I don't.
And for developers writing, the beautiful
There's
thing
like
is
anything
this. So
for
Sam,
apps.
let me clue you in.
There's an app for
Sam's
that.
a recent graduate of college this past year, just installed Windows 10 on his new device that we'll take a look at in a sec. But one of the great stories is when you purchase an app or you develop an app, you can write once or purchase once and get it across your devices, because Windows 10 will run on everything Microsoft, from the phone to like my son's behemoth laptop, because he was a communications radio TV major, so for his video editing Alienware beast, to older tablets, Samsung Series 7 from years ago.
Talk about 7, Windows 7.
Yeah, my Dell Venue 8, my Surface 3, even coming to Xbox One.
I was just about to ask about Xbox.
Xbox One, where yesterday they announced we will have support for mice and keyboards.
I did read that.
Yeah, so everything. So this story, you get an app, it'll run on all your stuff, and you'll be able to use it without having to buy and rebuy across all of them. So it's a beautiful story. Windows 10 is going to rock the computer world. And so with that, let's go ahead, and I'm going to take on my Surface two quick things I want to show folks. So one is an ode to the past, and another is kind of a carryover and an enhancement as we move forward. So, for many folks, your mom included, your mother-in-law, there was this apprehension with Windows 8 and 8.1 because
I was just dealing with that with my fiance on my way here. I told her that she'll, in like 2 weeks, she'll be getting, or however long it's going to take, she'll be getting Windows 10, upgrading on her computer, and she freaked out because she was on 7 up until a couple months ago, and then I switched her to 8, and now she's going to be getting 10, and she was worried about how different it was going to be because she's just now getting used to Windows 8.1.
Well, you know what you should have told her? It's kind of like an old friend, right?
I did. That's what I said. I said, well, you remember how things used to be before you had the main home screen that took up, like, with all the apps and everything. And so I kind of set her at ease.
Yeah, and the beauty is this. Windows 10 brings the best of Windows 7 with the best of Windows 8.1 with new features and enhancements, and we're going to be covering all that. But the first is really kind of that old friend revisiting, because we had a lot of folks, when you're in a desktop, and here my Surface, I just dropped my plug. When you're in a desktop mode like this one is, and I'm working as a computer, maybe I'm in a docking station or in a laptop, but when I'm working there, you know, I'm more concerned about my mouse and keyboard interactions, not just the tiles like on a tablet. And so with Windows 7, that was easy and earlier because you had the start menu. Windows 8 and 8.1, that kind of went away because the start menu actually brought up that full tile view.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of a best of both worlds now. So let's go to take a look at what the start menu does. So let's go full screen, Stephen. And when I go ahead and I click on the start menu, look at what we get here. It's kind of the best of both worlds. I'm getting live tiles and information, but it's tiles as I've assembled a view. So it's the apps that I want to have readily appear, right? Ready access here. I can change that in a video down the road. We're actually going to show how you can modify this, and if you want it to be like Windows 8.1, you can absolutely have it that way. But here you can see I have those readily available. I've got a file explorer view here. I have a settings view, power up and down right from here. All apps, right? So this should be, talk about blast from the past. There's my folder views. Oh, let's open those up, right? Band sync, IT, mouse, Office 2016. I mean, this is what people were used to using.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So we give it all right there. The start menu is back and it's better than ever for those who want to use it. We'll show you how if you loved 8.1 where you clicked and got a full screen view, you can come on back, where how if you loved in 8.1 getting that full screen view, how you can absolutely have that.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that, but it's
now, are you going to, in later videos, are you going to show applications?
Oh, we are.
Okay.
We're going to show some because there's some great new apps.
There definitely is. I also like how the applications work in the desktop view. In 8.1, you kind of solve that more with, they acted more like programs where you could minimize them, you could have them smaller and stuff, and they worked in it. And I think it really works well in Windows 10. They really feel like programs and stuff, and it's really a seamless experience.
It really is. And so, again, the best of both worlds, right? If you're those of you who are worried and you were hanging on to 7, I even had some Vista. I had a guy yesterday saying he liked, you're laughing, saying he liked Vista and
well, that's rare.
No,
that is rare.
That is.
People are either XP or 7, and then everybody, the elephant in the room is Vista.
Yeah, and so he brought up the elephant, but you know, XP you brought up. They're going to have something that's going to be familiar and easy to use. But you know what? A lot of folks liked 8, and they liked charms.
I loved it. I loved that.
I did too. I loved 8. When people were complaining, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I did.
But
I thought it was great.
One of the great things was the fly out from the side, where you could go, and with that, you can actually work with, you know, they had these, we called them charms on the side. You can get to the settings and search and a whole bunch of stuff right there. Well, we've kind of taken that idea and enhanced it. I'm going to show you swiping, but let's say you're in a keyboard, and you know, a lot of folks, they hated the idea, oh, I got to go and I got to mouse down to the corner. What if I'm in multi-monitor and it gets touchy? We've handled that. So let's take it today into this video from a desktop view. If you look down here in the corner, you'll see here's some of my program and things that are running. Here you'll notice there is this white little box that says there's new notifications. This is, when I click on that, you'll see the Action Center. So it has notifications that are here, right? It's a whole notification center, and I can see them, have them pop up. I'm going to go ahead and clear that. Also, this view that I can collapse or expand is really the successor or the son of or daughter of charms, right? And it's a much richer view. So here you can see I have all settings. I have notes. Tablet mode, which we're going to get into future videos, totally changes things and is the default based on form factors that you'll see. Connect, we're going to talk on connecting to various devices, VPN, quiet hours, location, networks, brightness, airplane mode. All these things that typically were charms and some of the diving into them, we bring them right at a glance here, front and center. What were you going to say?
Well, one thing I wanted to note is that the Action Center is, as you said, it's a notification hub and everything, and I think a lot of what people talked about when they got on 8 was that it was so different and they didn't know how to use it, and it was a different interface than anything they were used to. And pretty much anybody I know now has a smartphone. And all smartphones have built into them now notification centers that look almost identical to how this looks. So this isn't something that, is, even though it is new to Windows,
Right.
it's not something that, you're gonna pull up and be like, oh, how do I use this? Because chances are people have already been using this on their mobile devices
For a while.
now.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
I think the fact that it's inside the operating system.
You've seen it on iOS. You've seen it on Android. We've had it on Windows Phone since 8.1. In fact, your sister, I didn't even know about it, right? It was that gesture where you swipe down and I get
I've
the
showed
notification.
that to you.
Yeah, you showed it to
But
me.
that's identical now. Like,
But
if
it's
you look at that,
identical because I'm running Windows 10 on this phone, right?
Yeah.
So this notification and that notification, identical. And there we go. I clear all. Yeah, in fact, the same exact icons are showing here as showing there. So it's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have that unified view. And so here we have that. So, for somebody getting Windows 10 for the first time, they're going to be able to come over, first of all, revisit an old friend with the start menu. And we'll get into customizing that and all that later. But you're going to have the start menu right off where you can see all apps and be able to open anything here. And you can go to see your notifications and change your settings. Like I go here, click all settings where I can go. And we'll dive into these.
Well, there's a good.
We've simplified this.
There's a good example of what I was talking about with how it looks. Another thing they took out too, even with programs now, is the borders are all gone.
Yep.
So it
looks the same across.
Yeah, it looks the same across. So whether you're using an app or a program,
Yep.
they look the same and they act the same in the desktop view, which is
important.
It's just
huge,
really good,
right? So that's the two things I wanted that I mentioned, but there is a third. So the start
What is
menu,
the
something that's
surprise?
been around for a while, right? And some folks saw it. It was surprising how many folks didn't know you could do this in 8 and 8.1. Because they're like, you buried stuff, and I got to go through all this touchy blah 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 for power users who are like wanting to get to feature functions, deep stuff on the OS quick. They'd complain all the time. And there was a feature was there. We've taken it. We've enhanced it. So here we go. My little to-do. So come over to the start menu, but this time something that Windows has had for years. It's a function we call right-click. Yes, I know. For some people who are on fruity OSs with single buttons.
There's 2 buttons.
Yes, 2 buttons. Because some people actually want to do things. They don't want to play. They want to do things. So for those who are doers, you can come over here and right-click and look at what happens. Look at all the stuff I get here. At one click, I have access to all my programs and features. The Mobility Center, Power Options, Event Viewer, System, Device Manager, Network Connections, Disk Management, Computer Management, Command Prompt, the Admin Command Prompt, Task Manager, Control Panel, File Explorer, Search, Run, Shut Down or Sign Out, and there's all the options there, and Desktop. All that stuff, one quick click, right click on the Start icon.
No, wasn't that in 8.1?
It was.
That's what I was about to say. I remember using that in 8.1.
But you know what? You know how many times I've had people say, I didn't know. And again, part of the genesis for this series and why we're going to do all these little videos is so folks can know what's there. Because so often we've had folks, just something simple. How do I project? How do I do? We want you to know everything.
Yeah.
So that's why we started off 10 Zen, so you can have your inner Zen. So we'll have our 10 Zen. So today's little 10 Zen piece, 3 things. First, go to the Start menu. Just click on it. Starts back for you folks. We'll get into how, if you want the full screen view, how you can do that and do some others, editing of it. But for those who are worried, you're on XP, you're on 7, the Start menu's there, but it's better than ever, right? We get information bubbling up, all apps. File Explorer is here, right? I can come, boom, look at that. get into the file. All that stuff that you were most used, right? There's me. We have tiles showing up. I have the File Explorer. We can go into settings. Boom, there's that settings view.
Yep.
Straight from there.
Can't wait
We can
till
go
we
into
turn
all apps. Here, if I click power, sleep, shut down, restart, click all apps, and there's that all apps view. Everything, one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Start. Next, Action Center. If you're running on a smartphone, you know, Windows 10 smartphone, it looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Looks very much like the 8.1 Action, you
Yeah.
know, notification center. If you've been on an Android device, iOS, you've had similar things, so you're used to that. And finally, if you want to get to a lot of stuff, come over to that Start menu button, right-click,
And there it is.
and there it is. It's been there since 8.1, but here it is
Here it
again. Get to those power features, one click and go.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all we got for today's initial welcome video. So welcome to our 10 Zen series. Any last parting thoughts? You just installed.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of re-putting like some of like the firmware stuff on my computer because
On your Alienware.
I didn't. When you get Windows 10, it just is there. All your programs,
Everything's there, but you wanted to start.
I wanted to completely wipe my computer, so that's
So
what
he
I
did.
And so I have to re-put everything back on there.
So you're going to put all that on, and you know
Yeah.
it's a project you can do. But again, the beauty is 10, whether it scales from a phone to like my Dell Venue 8 to other tablets to this monster, it runs across everything.
Yeah, I can't wait for a segment where we talk about Cortana.
We're gonna get we'll
That's
be
gonna
doing.
be-
So that's the
Stay
last
tuned
thing
for
before
that.
we sign off for today. Some of our upcoming pieces in this series. First of all, if you have requests, go to our Facebook page at the Philly MTC Facebook page. You can reach us there, leave a note. You can email me, mgan@microsoft.com, put in a request, do your subject line, say 10 Zen request, and then what you're looking for. Make sure you put your name. We'll give you a shout out credit around that. You can also find us on Twitter at Philly MTC, and you can put in a request there. Do it, just as a, so it's a public one. Don't direct message. We get so much spam, I don't even look at that stuff. So, having said that, some of the upcoming ones we have slated. Our next one is going to be around desktop and tablet modes, how we can seamlessly switch, get what's appropriate to your form factor, your device. We're going to get into that and where swiping went, because it didn't go away. We'll have that. Next, we're going to talk about Start. Then we'll have customizing the Start menu, right? So folks that want to take this menu back here, make it all custom for their views, we're going to show that. We're going to show personalization of Windows 10, things around theming, backgrounds, having it sync across all your computers, which I love. Picture passwords, some of the carryovers. We're going to then look at multiple displays. We're going to take a dive into the store. We're going to get groovy with Groove Music,
Groove.
which is one of the new apps for Windows 10, and we're going to also be covering a range of apps.
Oh, there it is.
We're going to be diving into the new Edge browser and some of the very, very cool functions you can do with Edge, including, you ever read a news story online, you want to get rid of ads and all that stuff?
I
No?
love ads.
You love ads.
No kidding.
He's this generation. Bombard me. No. So I'll show you how you can do all that, how the Edge browser can get rid of all that. We're going to dive into Cortana,
So I'm excited.
because Cortana on the
excited.
PC rocks. And all the stuff that she can do for you there.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to show you connecting to networks, projectors, wireless projection, etc., linking to your Microsoft account, and more. So stay tuned. Be checking these out. Future segments will be 5 minutes approximately or less. And put in your request for what you want to see in 10 Zen. With that, today's episode, I'm glad to be joined by my son,
Sam,
Sam Gannotti.
forgot what my name was.
Forgot his name. And we want to wish you have a great day. Keep Zen with 10 Zen. With that, have a great day. Take care. Ciao.